Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the More You Look podcast. My name is Femi Anthony, and as per usual, I've got my friend here. We call him Shegun, but his name is Sky. How are you doing today, Sky?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm solid, man. We're thankful to be alive, and it's been a very terrific year, 2020. A lot of people have died from the pandemic, the coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the political pandemic in Nigeria as well. Yeah. We will not forget those who died, to fight for what is just and right.
Yeah, that's we would say all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace to everyone who's gone.
Yeah, exactly. We had the Black Lives Movement.
In I think Taiwan, they've been protesting for close to a year now.
Yeah.
People have died. We say rest in peace to everyone who's passed away due to one reason or the other. Yeah. It's been a very trying year. Sky, let's focus on this. During the last episode, we did say that we were going to, by the time it aired, we would be in the second lockdown.
Yeah.
And now we're officially in it.
Yep.
How has it affected, your businesses of people you know? How has it affected you?
I think without sounding as if I'm whining, or picking a grudge, a personal grudge, it's affected everybody, every economy, I think the only sector of any country right now that is functional and can be a bit unaffected, so to speak, when we talk of financial aspects, is the healthcare industry, because it's an healthcare pandemic. So
yes.
Yeah, the healthcare is the only properly functioning sector of any
Trust
economy,
me,
right?
when you use the word properly, I don't know
about financially. I'm not talking about
even at that, because what you will find is that the government has been cutting funding anyway, even before coronavirus. And according to the news, it says here we've been having 563 deaths daily in the UK, which is why. But let's be honest with ourselves, this second lockdown doesn't really seem like a lockdown, because everyone's out and about. People are still refusing to wear masks, even though the daily numbers are shooting up. People are still refusing to wear masks.
Yeah, I don't know about where you reside, but on my own end, I think I've seen more compliance from people in terms of putting on their mask and all that. Even myself, I always seem to forget when I park my car and I want to dash into the shop. I always forget and I have to go back and get it, So there's more compliance at least where I live. But in terms of moving around and all that, Femi, to be honest, people are tired of being cooped at home. They are tired. Okay, like I said, I do Uber driving. I do private hire driving. And the first lockdown, immediately afterwards, I picked a lot of people who were contemplating breaking up with their partners.
I was actually going to say, because of the kind of work you do, you probably come in contact with quite a lot of people. You hear lots of stories.
Immediately after the lockdown, I remember picking up these two lovely ladies, and at the back seat while I was driving, one of them was just moaning about how our partner got on her nerves all through the 3 months. The things that they normally wouldn't notice about each other, because they wake up, maybe a little kiss here and there and all that, make breakfast, go to work. Then they don't see each other till evening, and by that time they are both tired. They just want to cook up on the sofa, watch TV, then go to bed. But because of the lockdown, they had to witness guys not raising up the toilet seats when they need to pee.
Yeah. What I really want to know is, has your transportation business, has it been affected in any way by this second lockdown?
Bro, let me put it to you in terms of percentage. Say before the lockdown and before the second lockdown and after the first lockdown, we were running at about say 45% to 65% capacity, because we still had to shut down at 10 o'clock, because the bulk of people who give us money are people who go to dine outside, go to the clubs, shopping and all that, and that has reduced drastically. So right now we are running at about 5% capacity. And don't forget, I also do photography, video, and all that.
Yeah.
So, and that one, if there's no events, there's no photography. The only thing you get right now is, before the lockdown, is portrait shooting, studio shooting, like and that one doesn't really come. Where we normally see our money in media is events, weddings, birthdays, and all.
Trust me, businesses are bleeding presently, and it's just it's like a catch-22 where the government needs to effect the lockdown for the virus to sort of but we will complain. There are even people, I think, trying to organize protests, and I just feel that the government needs to do what it needs to do. The truth of the matter is they dropped the ball initially, so now they are just trying to tighten things up, pick up. I won't say it's too late, but we possibly wouldn't have the number of deaths we have now if they are swung into action a bit earlier. And we just want to say that if you're struggling out there, we are with you. I mean, you know what the government says, we are all together in this. Yeah, I don't know if that's true when they say that, but we are indeed together in this. We feel your struggles, we feel your pain. Just keep your head up, work on your physical being, your spiritual being, because we are all we've got, and we can only learn to be kind to each other. I was going to, as an offshoot from that, I was going to ask you that, what do you do? Well, let me put it this way, where is your safe space? Because I'm not ashamed to say I do struggle mentally every now and then. I do struggle mentally. But for me, my safe space, believe me, is YouTube. And the kind of things I watch on YouTube will shock you. When kids go on YouTube, I don't know if your children do this, but my daughter, even before the virus, I would catch her watching kids like her unboxing toys on YouTube. And I used to think, how do you even find this entertaining in any way? But guess what? I find myself going on YouTube, sitting down to watch other men like me play football games and all sorts of games on there. And my wife would look at me and think, what is wrong with you? You have your own in the house, but you rather sit and watch people play these games. But the weirdest thing for me is I find some sort of tranquility in just watching people play these games. I sit down and watch Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin. It seems weird, but for me, that is my sort of safe space. When I've gone to work, when I've put in the hours, when I come back home and I really can't go anywhere, there's not much fun things to do out there because of the lockdown. When I start feeling that struggle a bit, I sort of just turn to YouTube. I read a few pages of book here and there. I do lots of stuff. I play games like Scrabble with my children, and I've always been curious to know other people's.
Personally, for me, in this day and world, when you're married and you have a family, people tend to make you feel guilty if you try to have that personal space to yourself. But for a proper balanced mental health, it is necessary.
Oh yeah.
Every family needs.
It's called a me time.
Exactly. And for me, what I've discovered over the last 7 years that I've had my kids, wonderful kids, I love them to death. In fact, every time I'm out, I miss them.
No peace for the wicked.
Yeah, I miss them. But what I've noticed is that I can't have my me space when I'm at home. So for me, my miss, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy driving for private hire, because while I might have passengers, and occasionally one or two might want to chat to you
in between trips. You're like in your own little world.
I am in my own little world. And one thing that gets me going most of the times when I'm down is when I listen to music. So when I'm at home, I can't do that because they are on their tablets,
Yep.
blasting, watching whatever, or reading, or making noise, or fighting in between each other. Madam is there, she's trying to like coordinate what's going to happen in the house within the last 1 week. I mean, within the next 1 week or 2 weeks. So I don't have that time to, enjoy myself or being in my own little space. So when I'm driving, that's when I get that. So
basically, music is your own sort of therapy.
Escape, escape, routes, So then also I watch a lot of movies, series especially. So, but again, I don't have time to watch that when everybody's at home. So I only do that, when I'm in the office, working here, and I'm probably editing a video or doing a client's website or something. Then I put on a movie on the side, just to watch. And that's how I get my own safe space, really.
Moving on from that, well, before we move on, guys, we do get a few of your emails. I know as time goes on, we will get more. We read through all of them. As we record more episodes, we will have a segment where we will read out maybe 1 or 2 emails and just just give you feedback. And we like the fact that you're being truthful with us. Like I said, as we grow, we get better. So if you want to share with us your safe space during this lockdown, what do you turn to? What is your escape for dealing with mental stress during the lockdown? Moving on, remember during the last episode when we gave a sort of update on the American elections, it's amazing that it's not even done yet. Although Joe Biden is obviously the president-elect, according to all media outlets, but it would seem that Donald Trump is, trying to
do everything in his power to cling on to power.
He's refusing to concede. And I think personally, I think there is still going to be a plot twist to this whole election thing. I know nothing. I follow online as everyone else, but he's going to court. I read recently that the law firm representing him with all these lawsuits, they've decided to jump ship. So
really?
So as at yesterday, they are refusing to represent him in his lawsuits. That tells you something. So either way, I just feel that with everything going on presently, you would think a sane person, a considerate person, knowing that Americans are suffering and have suffered enough, would concede so that things can move on. But then we will see if there's a plot twist to this.
2 things though. Following the elections and the results and all that, I think I found out that this has actually happened in the past, and the president, after going to, everybody knows the Republicans hold the.
Are you talking about Al Gore?
So there's a way that Donald Trump can eventually.
And are you telling me that it's still quite possible that he could?
It is. It has happened before.
Because I know somebody.
It has happened in the past. So
it's so close.
If the Democrats were the ones, in charge of the Senate, they had more members in the Senate than the Republicans, then I would say probably it's not going to happen. But that being said. One thing I don't get about Donald Trump's followers is this. This guy has proven over and over again that he's the most unpatriotic person.
This is the thing. This is what you need to understand.
This guy is not patriotic, because if you're patriotic, you would put America first.
No, what you need to understand is, in my opinion, is initially when he became the president the first time, we all thought, well, this is somebody who's not been into politics. You never know what you're going to get. So then it seemed like we underrated Donald Trump. But now, considering after this particular elections now, it would seem to me that the issue is not that we are underrating Donald Trump. I think the bigger issue here is that we are overrating the possibility of Americans being really stupid. Because think about it for 1 second. I would never have believed in a million years that these particular elections will come so close.
Yeah.
That tells you that America is predominantly a racist country, because this is somebody who has said some of the most racist stuff. You know, it could have, I don't know what his intentions are for the black community, for minorities, but as far as I'm concerned, what comes out of your mouth? Because I've heard people say, oh, is the media making him look crazy? Is the media doing this to his image? But is it the media saying these things from his mouth?
Are they the ones tweeting?
The things, yeah.
Are they the ones tweeting for him?
You get what I mean?
Let me see. Let's not take something away. Yeah? Donald Trump, as a shrewd businessman, you understand, he is 100% on point. He can walk into a negotiation, you know, a negotiation that he has no advantage of.
I even refuse to
come out.
I refuse. I disagree.
Let me make a point.
Okay.
Let me make my point. You know, he has proven as an excellent businessman. You understand? He might not be the most moral businessman, but he has proven to be an 100% excellent businessman. You know, but being a political leader is different from being a genius in a business room. You understand?
Okay.
So for Donald Trump, you understand, to be the leader, I knew this was going to be the problem. He's like a spoiled brat. The reason he's not conceding basically he's a spoiled brat. They always want to get what, you know, they want. They don't care how unfair it might look or what the other person is saying. You know,
where I'm going to disagree with you though, Sky, is where you called him a genius, business,
you
whatever.
Succeed business-wise. So
that man is in debt. I don't even think he's a good
He's not in debt.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's not in debt.
Okay.
Donald Trump.
Okay. I won't argue with you.
This guy is rich.
Moving on from that, before we move on, I just want to read a tweet.
It's like what 50 Cent did to his ex, that he declared bankruptcy just so that he doesn't pay out. He's not in debt. That's just manipulating the financial system.
I hear you. There's a thread on Twitter by this chap called Aaron Carpenter, and it made a lot of sense to me when I read it. Yeah. He said the 2020 presidential election is 100% going to the United States Supreme Court, where the justices will rule that the election is invalid due to voter fraud on a countrywide scale. This will go one or two ways. One, either SCOTUS will rule that all the unconstitutional mail-in ballots will be removed from total votes, and the states are ordered to end recounts without them. Or Supreme Court will simply rule the election is invalid due to countrywide voter fraud, and at that point it will be sent to the US House and US Senate for a vote,
which is held by
he even said it. He said this is where it gets good. The US House and the US Senate will vote on who the president and vice president will be. This has nothing to do with what political party that has power. Every state gets one vote. According to the 12th Amendment, 31 state houses are held by Republicans and 19 by Democrats. The Senate then votes for the vice president. This is the law. It's not just make up or make believe. The only way President Trump will not be re-elected is if he concedes, and we all know this will never happen, of course. So he says, stop watching fake news. Do not let your heart be troubled. Know that this will work out. Then I'm going to skip some parts. And then he brought us to, he said another fun fact. The media called Al Gore the president-elect for 30 days in the year 2000, until the courts ruled against him and declared Dubia the winner. The best part, two people involved in Bush versus Gore were none other than the new Supreme Court justices,
the same people,
Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Barrett. Why do you think the Democrats tried so hard to keep them from being confirmed? And then he said, he just went on, and that for me was a little bit of an eye-opener, because I never knew that American politics can get so, grimy and down, and it's almost on the same scale of Nigerian politics, where someone will actually win an election, and the next thing you know, like Davido's uncle that won election in I think Ekiti State, and it's not even he's not the governor right now, which is very So which is why I read all these things, and for me, I can't help but think that there is possibly some sort of plot twist still waiting for us just around the corner when it comes to American politics. It's more entertaining than EastEnders and Corey combined, and I am here for it. Moving on, last week I did say on the last episode, I did say that we are going to review 2 albums causing a lot of chaos on Twitter presently and other social media outlets. Davido's album, A Better Time, I think it's called, and Starboy Wizkid's album, what's it called? Made in Lagos. I would like us to review these albums before we call it a day. Well, before I say anything, I would like to clarify that whatever I say out of my mouth, is just my own personal opinion. So, Davido FC, Wizkid FC, don't come for my throat. You can go for Sky. Don't come for my own throat, please. I beg you.
I'm not even an expert.
I beg you.
Because they are the most recent albums.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about. So.
Well, before I even go on at all, one thing I would like to do, we are reviewing just Wizkid and Davido's album today. Maybe another time we'll be reviewing other albums as a segment on the podcast. But Olamide released an album which I think is absolutely amazing. I would say who else? Burna Boy is giant, American African giant. That's like a sort of 5-star album too. And I think all these guys, for me personally, are holding Nigeria down when it comes to music
great
to the outside world.
Exactly.
And I would like to give them a round of applause. Let's give it to them. They deserve it.
Thank you.
They are holding it down for Nigeria and Africa to the world. Yeah. Now, when it comes to, let's start with Wizkid's album. And well, personally, I think that it's a very good album. You can see the maturity in Wizkid's songs. I don't know if there's more pros to cons when it comes to Made in Lagos, because if you listen to that album, it's not necessarily something you would jam at parties, but I think it's for the vibes. You want to vibe out. You're driving in your car. You're in a mature setting. You're in your house. You just want to put yourself in that vibe. But
I think we can actually call it, from what you're saying though, because that's not my own impression now. But from what you're saying, I think we can actually term it a proper lockdown album, because we're not having any parties right now. Anyway.
The only issue, which is not a big deal at all, it's not a big deal. The only issue I would say that I have with Wizkid's album is the fact that it's called Made in Lagos. That album does not sound like anything made for. He probably recorded it in Lagos, but it doesn't sound like anything made for the Nigerian scene, for the Nigerian setting. It's not exactly a bad thing.
No,
but if you go,
it's just
if you go all the way back and listen to Oju Elegba Shita,
that's proper Lagos.
That song sounds like
Lagos.
That album itself encapsulates Lagos State, Lasgidi. It would have been perfect if you titled that album Made in Lagos and titled this new album Starboy.
I think I don't know, I cannot probably speak for him or what he was thinking by choosing that name, but I think Made in Lagos is like exporting Lagos, him who is from Lagos to the world. That's
showing us that he can do something totally different.
No, not really.
Something
not exactly,
on a posh scale.
It's like saying, oh, I am made in Lagos, and this is me. This is my music, and it's selling it to the rest of the world, because right now the Nigerian music is banging all around the world. So it's a good export. If that's what he was going for, naming it, probably he still had to justify in terms of people, But coming to my own impression of the album.
Okay, here we go.
One thing that
Wizkid FC. Please, on alert.
Come on.
Go on.
Guys, this is my personal opinion. I've never been noted for speaking about Wizkid's album in the past.
One thing I would say is it is perfectly fine to support both artists.
Yeah. I'm not a connoisseur of Wizkid's music,
Yeah, so, I just love good Nigerian music.
I just vibe to good, and this is just my own personal opinion. One thing I noticed from the album is that every beat seems like it's the same thing. It feels like, I'm not sure if it's the same producer that was on the old album,
most of the songs
on this that produced the old songs, but if it's the same producer, it seems like a lazy walk, so to speak, because what the guy has just done is that track one, the same beats, it just changes the beginning, had some,
stems, just change some of the
exactly.
stems.
Had some little things that it feels different, but trust me, when I was listening to it, it felt like you were listening to. Let me give you a good example. The one it featured one of the Malis.
Yeah,
and the one for Skepta. Guys, listen to it. They follow each other. The one for Skepta comes first. Mali immediately after. I went back to it. I was like, this is the same beat I'm listening to. Then I listened to the remaining of the album, and I still, detected the same thing.
So you could have just called it vibes from the motherland.
You understand? So it kind of felt like it was the same instrumental, all through the album. But that's my own personal opinion. But still, good job.
What are your standouts?
Thanks for exporting Nigeria to the world. You're doing a great job.
What are your standout songs? For me, obviously, No Stress. I like No Stress. I like No Stress. That album is a very good album, okay? But here's the thing: if that album had been done by someone else, I would call it a good album. You see, but the fact that is Wizkid, I feel that he could do something a bit better, and I can't help, whether you like it or not, there will always be a comparison at some point of the two artists, and I just feel that the vibe I get from Wizkid is this is a guy that has come from nothing. He's worked so hard. He wants to become someone in life. He wants to achieve success. He's actually there now. You can call him a very, very successful artist. He's a rich artist at this point. And I think that fire, for me personally, looking from the outside, that fire seems to me like it's sort of dwindled just a little bit, because Wizkid can do, and then you look at Davido, who was born into money. He does not have to do any of this, but I feel there's a bit of pressure on him to succeed, to show that money aside, this is what I am, this is what I want to do, this is what I can do and do really well. And going off on that, Davido's album A Better Time, personally, from a neutral point of view, I feel this is his best work. This is Davido's best album, personally.
Quickly, one of the songs that I like most on Wizkid's album was still be Smile featuring her. And great. Those two songs, it did it for me, despite, and the one with Skepta, I really, really loved that.
It's a good, like I said, it's a very good album. But I feel that I do get more variety when I listen to Davido's album.
I
mean, the song is looking bad for me. Then I also like the one with Mayor of Lagos. I like the song
because I enjoyed most of the songs. Like you said, there was a lot of varieties. I didn't hear the same instrumental in all the songs.
Yeah, you get more variety from Davido's album.
But we are not comparing.
No, both albums are really good. I think Davido has really, really put in work. And we appreciate both guys for always putting us out there to go. They are both amazing. And for you guys out there, because when I go on Twitter, Jesus Christ, all you get is Wizkid fans. It's perfectly fine to love an artist, to love a celebrity, but do not love a celebrity to the point where it would change the person that you are. You get what I mean? You don't have to start cursing people, swearing, and doing all that stuff just because they like someone else and they don't like Wizkid. It's actually perfectly fine to be a fan of Wizkid, Davido, Olamide, Burna Boy, Prince Kiss Daniel. You can be a fan of quite a lot of people at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be a lover of music. It doesn't have to come to,
Femi, I came across this tweet from Davido about 2 hours ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Trust me, this is the kind of maturity that I want to see more from him. I feel like Davido tries too much to get validation from a lot of people, but you're doing great. You're featuring a lot of artists internationally. Your best friends. You're friends with most international artists.
Yeah.
You don't need to prove, but this kind of tweet is a solid, matured tweet.
Okay.
It says, "I would want to be remembered for a lot, not just music. To be honest, that I served for humanity. I served the people, and a lot of people gained from my blessing. I gave my family a good name. I gave my country a good name. I gave Africans a good name." Signed, Davido. That is the kind of mature tweet I want to be seeing more from him, rather than him trying to prove that he's better than Burna Boy. Big ups to you, Davido. Well done.
Yeah, good on all those guys making Nigeria proud. But before we end the episode for this week, I want us to have a segment where we just, read tweets that we've sort of stumbled on and that sort of stand out to us. And for me, this would be, we'll call the segment tweet of the week, or tweets of the week, because it could be more than one. You could have one and I could have one. But for today, it could be a thumbs up tweet or a thumbs down tweet. I have a thumbs, we will decide. So I have a guy on here, his name is Nubari Sata, and he tweeted that in Nigeria, ex-militants are paid almost 100,000 naira monthly to not attack oil rigs owned by foreign companies.
Wow.
While repentant Boko Haram terrorists that have killed thousands of Nigerians are actually getting paid 160,000. And this is a country where people with no history, of banditry, armed robbery, or crime of any kind are actually paid 30,000 naira monthly minimum wage. They are shot on the streets. They are labeled hoodlums for asking to be treated like humans in their own country. And for me, I think this tweets totally, it's like it totally explains the kind of country Nigeria is and the kind of politicians ruling in that country. I think it's a shame that I can't even say we've come to this. Do you think it's worth blaming those militants for wanting to attack these oil rigs owned by these foreign companies? Because you need to understand there's a tree here. These foreign countries come to your country, they smell oil.
Yep.
And what do? They pay for terrorists to attack those villages where there's oil. And when they attack those villages, what happens? Everybody runs away. They become displaced. And they become refugees in other countries. And what happens to those villages? Free for the taking. These people come in, they bribe politicians, and they start digging oil. And when children of some of these displaced people now come together, and then they are the ones finally recognized as militants. Look at where they're digging oil, where they've been digging oils for decades in that country. People can't fish to eat. No jobs, no good hospitals, no schools. And you expect these people not to, rebel in any way.
The way I look at it is regardless of the military and the bandits, it still comes down to mismanagement, if
going
Nigeria,
sky.
if our leaders have taken the proper measures and making sure that fact it's okay to dig, you understand, to get oil from anywhere, but the people you're getting, the community must be protected. You know, that's the way it should be. Look at fracking, the noise that fracking made in the UK. You know, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
It's still ongoing, actually.
It's still ongoing. That's the way it should be. You know, that community must be protected. You understand? Getting that oil should boost our economy, but it's boosting our
I'm not going to lie to you.
leaders' pocket. You know,
I'm not going to lie that it doesn't cross my mind that I come from a country that actually, you know, when you watch all these American movies and stuff, you hear it doesn't matter if 3 million Americans' lives are at stake. You will hear the government will say, "We do not negotiate with terrorists." Nigeria is actually a country that would only negotiate with terrorists and militants, and not actually sit at the table and negotiate with people asking.
Why did we come out in droves? Why did we have the NSAS movement?
Wow.
You know, because that's the only language they seem to listen to. And one thing they keep saying, Nigerians are too lazy, they are scared to come out to fight for their right. No, we try to avoid bloodbath. We try to avoid revolution for a long time. We've been taking it in our ass, in our mouths, in every hose we have in our body. They've been sticking it into. You understand?
Yes. We
try to avoid it, but from militants in Bayelsa, from bandits, from Boko Haram,
It is just
one lesson we have learned is that the leaders are only listen.
Who formed Boko Haram?
When
Who do you think formed Boko Haram? Who do you think created Boko Haram? Think about it for 1 second. Just think about it for a second. Because what I've heard and read online, it might not be true, is that these so-called repentant Boko Haram are actually the ones that are acting as informants for the Boko Haram terrorists.
Yeah. My own perspective is this, that, you know, trust me, someone who is not well fed is like, okay, let me put it this way. This NURTW, wherever in Lagos, you know, these guys initially, before Tinubu, they were brokers. They didn't have the kind of money.
Oh yes, of course. They travel out more than you.
Exactly. In order for them, for the political leaders to get their own ambition, they harm them with money, you know, weapons.
Oh, they use them.
That.
Oh yeah.
And now they are now a thorn in their flesh. You understand? You know, they might still be fighting for Tinubu and all that, but look at the mess they made, you know, during the peaceful protest. You know, so the same thing. The bandits, you know, allegedly they were probably a tool the leaders in that part of Nigeria used.
It is so crazy.
Because tell me, where did Shekara will get the kind of funding?
The guns. There's even a rumor that a Nigerian politician, I think I read somewhere that a Nigerian politician is being investigated. I don't know if it's by United Nations or something, that is actually responsible for funding Boko Haram.
Yeah,
but as time goes on, those news will unfold, and we will definitely bring it on here. Before we end the episode, I know I've said that like a couple of times now. Anywhere you are in the world, no matter what you're going through, I would like you to place your hand on your heart. That thing you feel there is your purpose to continue living. You are alive for a reason. Don't give up finding help. If you feel ignored, if you feel your voice is not being heard, you need to be persistent in your search for the right support. Don't give up. Keep keeping your head up until we see you again in the next episode. Do continue to take care of your mental health because it's priority. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.